Hello and welcome back to your East vs. Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga character Overlook guide. We'll be talking about Geis today. If you are interested in a mid to close range defensive all-rounder with an easy learning difficulty that has a well-rounded toolkit, a good and neutral, looping offense, and an outstanding X factor, this might be your character. Right now we're going to go ahead and go into free mode like we usually do. And I'll go ahead and remind that what I might be saying regarding combos might not be true due to the fact that the official release will change to 60 FPS instead of 30, and that I am not exactly the best at this game, so just bear with me in that regard. So let's go ahead and go over his toolkit, which is probably one of the stronger toolkits in the game. We'll go ahead and talk about his ground normally. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. The entire thing does not combo into itself like most ground attacks entirely, but they are very good pokes. So they are of worth. They're not a combo in themselves though, even if you get flip close, because there's too many gaps in them. Its pushback is inconsistent because it can and sometimes also since the opponent nowhere. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about his charge attack, which is on the lower end in terms of how good it is. It while it does charge a fair bit of SP, the issue is how slow it is. It's kind of mediocre because it takes so long to come out once you get the charge attack. It's kind of a bit of a pain, honestly. But it could still work. Its hitbox is surprisingly thin, but it's an important move for him because it has a whopping 23 SP on contact. It's kind of low on average, but for him it's okay. Interestingly, it actually does work as a combo starter because unlike everyone else, the air version will cancel into your jumping attack, which we'll go ahead and talk about. Because usually it'll combo into the falling attack. This is going to combo into the rising one. Like that one. So let's go ahead and talk about the rising attack. The rising attack is one of his key moves. It's going to be 2 hits. The first one's like this, and the second one is like that. It's going to smack into that to the ground. It's a pretty good move. It's actually one of his most important combo tools. They connect into each other pretty well, and the first hit is really good with his regular pokes, and it also works as an anti-air as well. His falling attack is actually very unique because it sends a projectile on the ground that acts as a hazard. With this hazard, he can set up Okizeme, which, if you're not familiar with fighting games, that basically means you can kind of put the opponents into a loop with very unlimited resources, because if they are basically don't know how to get out of the position that this puts you into, they can basically get looped further. It's basically a knowledge check in a sense, because this projectile will, as you've seen me do multiple times, send the opponent upwards, which lets the user loop into the aerial attacks again. Obviously, there's going to be eventual scaling, but it's there. Like something like this. Obviously, this is not true, and you can tech and dash out anytime, but if you don't know how to, and you're up against a Geis, there might be problems. But yeah, it'll stay around until an opponent steps on it, or after 3 seconds pass. And I believe, I don't think there's a limit on how many can be on the ground. But now we're going to go ahead and talk about his skills, which are actually pretty decent. We're going to go ahead and talk about Reaper, which has, you can see how much range it has right here. But trust me, this range is lying to you because it is much bigger. Because you can just be in the air above their heads and it's going to still hit. The actual width of the range looks and is correct, but the height of it, how much it goes up and down, is a lot because it is so much better than it looks. In a lot of instances, if you are able to get the aerial attack to come out at a certain point, you can combo Reaper into after the second hit, but it can be tight. But you can definitely do it. There you go. It's really hard, but that's a 10 SP combo for you. Not a good one, but it exists. But it's a pretty good move. He can also walk cancel Reaper, which makes it almost impossible to punish. And it's a pretty good tool defensively in neutral because it's quick, has a very quick startup, and it's active for a long time. Next, we're going to talk about Helm Splitter, which is also very good. As you can see, for one, it causes the stagger effect, which is a very powerful effect, giving you a bit of an advantage temporarily, especially if you have SP when you have this going on. So, usually an issue with stagger is, oh, I get put into an advantage state, but I need to charge SP. If you do end up having SP whenever you have stagger, you're put in a very amazing spot. That's why having stagger for only 12 SP is really good. And it also does a lot of health damage too. It does a lot to HP. It can technically loop into itself, but because of its stagger properties, it's kind of inconsistent because the projectile will knock opponents away on hit, because it has a projectile on the final hit. But because of that projectile and the ability to petrify if he equips a petrify item, he can do the petrify glitch. So it was mentioned in the original beginner guide video, where he can wipe out 50% of health bars. Of course, that's only if you're running accessories and if petrify stuff is legal for you. But and yeah, the air version obviously is only active upon landing. Next up is going to be the other skills. Let's go ahead and check those out now. If I can press the exit button correctly. Alright. Let's go ahead and check out Wolffang, Sorcery, Antlion, Sparrow Slash, and Axar's Ravage. All of these are very good skills. I'd actually argue that one of his biggest boons is that all of his skills have a use. I don't think any of them... I think there are some that are worse than others, but I think every single one of them have a use, which can be said the same for some other characters. Alright, now that our stuff's kind of been healed up in terms of resources, let's go ahead and look at Wolffang. This move is a very good reversal and does a ton of damage. If you get drawn to them, you can actually probably you can Wolffang into just your normal ground attack. Probably just your first hit though, and then you can dash away or something like that. Not exactly the safest, but it is something you can do. It's not gonna be true or anything though. I mean, that itself is probably true, but it's not gonna be great because it's not causing a knockdown on the last hit. The air version of Wolffang is gonna go upwards, which makes it a good combo tool. Or in a sense, it can also be good as a get off me, depending on which way you are facing whenever you do it. And the startup is very fast, so don't underestimate that. Next up, we're going to be talking about Sorcery Antlion, which is commonly referred to as Antlion, which is possibly one of his best skills, because it basically is active, and you can move whenever it is active. And it also has a suction effect, so it's going to basically bring a character in. And a more aerial version, if you get really far into the air, is very good with the vacuum effect compared to the ground version, in my opinion. because it also brings them upwards, which is good for aerial combos if you want to do aerial combos. It is honestly the backbone of his offense. It stays active for a long time, and he gets to land pretty easily because of how the projectile works, because he basically jumps over it, then jumps around it. And it allows him to land really hard moves, because he can basically use it, charge his charge attack, and then hit it for free. Which is, again, one of the major issues with him, is that you can't really hit his charge attack that often. So this actually lets him do that. Alongside being a combo tool. It makes it terrifying and pressure, and also this move has a lot of guard damage. But its strongest point is also that it has a lot of hits, which means he can use it to inflict stats effects if you have accessories or Campanella. And it cannot be while cancelled since he recovers in the air. I guess there's some mentions of how like it could like also be cancelled at like the start or the end, but like not like him anyway. But I mean, at the end, you don't need to worry about that because you're probably gonna be doing something else. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about Spiral Slash next. This is a very expensive combo ender that does more damage than Wolf Fang, but it's also a huge anti-air. Because take a look at that. That goes real high. And it also reaches pretty low too. It is honestly very surprising how low this reaches. Also, at some ranges, you can indeed combo off of stuff that does not look like it should combo. Like that. Obviously, it's very tight, but yeah. It can do very silly things, that's for sure. Yeah, it can't be block cancel because it puts him in the air. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to XR Barrage. Not Barrage, Ravage. It's just a good like 6-hit combo that can be comboed into. It's a very good combo ender. It doesn't really combo into stuff. Obviously, it doesn't put them into hard knockdown, but even if it did, actually, it might. They have so much time to get out of it that it doesn't really matter that much. I don't think... I think it's the last hit that puts him into the knockdown state, so I don't think you could burst and bargle it. Yeah, absolutely not. It works as a really good reversal, and even though due to its fast startup and long animation, it's a pretty standard brush skill. Now, for one of his best moves of his kit, his extra skill, Fairy Annihilation, because he can act during it. It is very strong due to that. It allows him to win neutral once at every game. He is the most no bullshit character in this game because he's kind of like the most like he's like the mid tier in my opinion. He just has the most in terms of everybody that has like one big bullshit thing. His one bullshit thing is just I get to play the game a bit. It's like my extra skill is gonna bring you right near to me so I can combo. It's I get to move during mine. You can use it to get away, you can use it to start a combo, you have opportunities with this skill. It's very good. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about his recommended supports. As mentioned before, he has benefits with Campanella because a lot of his moves have multi-hit properties. Especially his extra skill. As you saw at the end, you can see how much it was just hitting. Yeah, it is hitting a lot. But there's also the fact that it's also with other stuff, and a legal chance to inflict Petrify if you're wanting to abuse the glitch. Most tournaments will allow Campanella while banning Petrify if they're allowing accessories at all. Then there's next going to be Yuri on Chris, because a lot of his attacks are wide, so we're going to abuse that wide range to allow him to just break shields. He can basically confirm into Antlion with it, and then allowing him to do a bread and butter combo and basically kill a shield with it. And then there's going to be Fina and Rhea, or Sigrun, because, again, as mentioned, his extra skill is one of the best in the game. So having access to that extra skill whenever you want, or faster than usual, is very beneficial. And let's go ahead and talk about his negatives, which are honestly not too big. For one, he has poor SP gain. He has a hard time letting his charge attack outside of combos, and also he doesn't even get that much SP on hit. However, his SP cost isn't too bad, so it's like kind of wraps up being fine. 2 full charge attacks that land will be enough to use any of your skills. But for stuff like Spiral Slash or Axe Out Survivor, that's going to be only once. So I'm also going to recommend Reese or Kevin if you are interested in having high SP. And then he has slow movement. His movement stats is quite low, which means he might struggle to chase opponents down, which is also going to be another recommendation for Shara. Or if you want to chase opponents down, you can use Zin to keep stamina. But those are kind of just more not really helping him win more, but it's more like helping him lose less. And yeah, I think they're both okay, but the ones I suggested first I think are better. But yeah, if this video made you want to play Geis, then that's exactly what I want you to get out of it. But if you ended up watching it and like, I don't think I actually want to play Geis, that's fine. You watching the video is just as beneficial as you might think it is. It's gonna help get it into the algorithm alongside liking, commenting, and subscribing. So it might end up getting to someone that wants to end up playing Geis or doesn't know about the series. So thank you for watching, and if you want to see more characters, stay tuned. See ya!